But what about going from 100,000 to $1 million? How long does it realistically take to get to $1 million in investments? I'm not going to include any home equity in this calculation, only your savings and investments. All right. So take a look at a compound interest calculator after reaching $100,000 right here. Do you see that? In 2016, using the historical returns, historical S&P 500 returns, right? 2018 was a negative year with 6% because that's when the Federal Reserve out of nowhere just raised interest rates and people started to panic. In 2022, it was another negative year with 18%. But because of those other bull market years, that $100,000 would have doubled in 6 years, or by year 6. Do you see that? By 2020, right? Assuming that I don't contribute any more dollars to the investments, okay? So right now it is showing $0 to the contributions. However, it would take about 27 years to get to $1 million if I didn't contribute any more money to it. That's still incredible. But you're probably thinking, what percentage of your income do you need to contribute every year to get to $1 million a lot sooner than 27 years, right? So let's go with the $70,000 income. What if your income was $70,000 per year and just contribute 5% every year, assuming that your income goes up by 2% every year, and I'm gonna maintain that savings rate at 5%, then it would take you 23 years to go from 100,000 to $1 million. What if your income stays the same at $70,000 a year, but increases your savings rate to 15%? Then it would take you 18 years instead of 23 years to get to $1 million with an average of 8% return. And I'm showing you 2016 to 2023 right now because a lot of people like to argue in the comment section about how 8% is too aggressive. But this is all based on historical returns. I can't tell you how the stock market will perform for the next 10 years. If you can't agree with me on the number, why don't you just download my financial resources for absolutely free by visiting firestarchat.com/resources. That was both a question and a statement. Let's say you're doing really well, all right? I'm gonna go from $70,000 a year in income, and I'm gonna go to $120,000 a year. And I'm gonna increase the savings rate to 25%, or $30,000 a year, with an increase of 2% annually. And take a look at this. It would take you about 12 years to go from 100,000 to $1 million by increasing your savings rate to 25%. I didn't say anything about the 401k, Roth IRA, or taxable brokerage account. I just said to increase your savings rate to 25% of your gross income to get to $1 million. Your savings rate absolutely matters more than the stock market return. And if you maintain the same savings rate, it would only take you 6 years to get from $1 million to $2 million. It would take you about 4.5 years to get from $2 million to $3 million. And another 3 years, only 3 years, to get to $4 million. Is your mind blown yet? My mind was blown when I first learned about the compound interest calculator. And I really wish that they taught me this in high school instead of teaching me about Greek gods. Nobody cares about Greek gods. They're not even real. Because if you look at the earnings in this block here, all right, these are all the interest and earnings down in the middle. Just by maintaining the same return of 8% annually, and obviously, realistically speaking, it's not going to be 8% every single year. This is the average annual return. It's going to continue snowballing and compounding every single year, regardless, okay? And this is why getting to your first $100,000 is so important. Watch my replay about how to get to your first $100,000. Your compound interest will grow so much faster if you consistently invest. You could also just leave that $100,000 alone and let it grow on its own, right? But that would take too long. But if you left $1 million alone and did not contribute anymore, the 8% average annual return, or let's just say 8% return this year, that would be $80,000. That $80,000 is more than what most people make in their annual salary. Are you excited yet? I definitely am. So what do you think is better? Investing $500 a month, making 10% return, or investing $1,000 a month, making a 7% return on investment? You can't figure out how much you can invest without a budget. There's no way around it. I personally tested out the budgeting app called YNAB, and it's not just an app that can track your income and expenses, but it can even help you create a plan to pay down your student loans, car loans, personal loans, or credit cards a lot faster. So if you're ready to change your life by getting out of the paycheck to paycheck cycle, you can get a free trial without any credit card information by using the link in the description below. You're like, well, all right, cool. Sai, how in the heck do I start saving for $100,000? Well, over the years, I've been following the same exact financial independence checklist. You ready for this? And this is free for you to download too. Here it goes. Step 1, get your finances in order. That's it. You need to create your cash flow statement to know what is coming in and what is going out. Do not wait until you're deeply in debt to start budgeting. You can't possibly know what your savings rate is going to be if you don't do step 1. You have to do it, all right? You can download this financial independence calculator, or what I call the FIRE calculator, from my website while you're watching this video. And this FIRE calculator will give you a better understanding of how much you need to invest every month or every year. I don't do any courses like many other YouTubers do. I do the free resources because this is something that every American should have had when they were high school seniors. But here we are. You can always schedule a first session with me for free too by visiting firesession.com/coaching if you're interested in joining my private client program. That's not a course program though. That's where I help individuals get out of debt, save, and invest their money. Everything else after step 1 is really self-explanatory, but I'm gonna go through it anyway. Getting that rainy day fund after that will give you a small buffer before you start tackling your debt. You can pretty much do steps 2 and 3 simultaneously. If your employer doesn't give you an employee match, just skip step 3 and go straight to step 4. And most of you watch my videos are debt-free. It's true because I did a survey on my channel a while ago, and it's really amazing to see how many of you are trying to achieve financial independence so that you have the possibility to retire early. If you're not debt-free, it's okay. You just need to get your high interest debt paid off before you start investing. Don't be like me when I had over $110,000 in credit card debt, personal loans, car loans, and a 401k loan. If you're carrying a balance on your credit card right now, stop doing it. Pay it off as soon as you can. You're not getting any rewards by carrying a balance on your credit card. And I was on step 4 for 2 years before I was able to move on to step 5. Was it worth it? Absolutely. Because getting to the rest of the steps is almost impossible if I didn't finish step 4, okay? And just remember that your employer match always beats Roth, and Roth beats traditional. Traditional beats after-tax accounts. I will always prioritize my Roth accounts over everything else because the benefits of investing in Roth far outweigh everything else. I have a video for just about every step on this checklist, so be sure to check them out on my channel when you get a chance. Completing steps 7 to 10 can take some time. Maxing out your 401k, 403b, 457b, or TSP is really difficult to do unless you're earning a 6-figure income or your expenses are extremely low. Is it impossible? Of course not. But you could retire sooner with a substantial amount in your retirement if you could max it out every single year. And if you truly want to achieve financial independence, you have to get to that 50% savings rate to have the possibility to retire early. And I know you're probably thinking about how inflation is just eating away at your money and how the housing market prices are way too high for you to grow your wealth. Look, I read all of the comments in my comment section. I never once said that buying a house should be your primary way to build your wealth. The American dream when I came to the US in the 90s was that everyone should own a home. But you shouldn't own a home if you're going to end up paying more than 30% of your income towards your mortgage. That's called being house poor. I don't want you to be house poor. I want you to be able to grow your savings and investments from $0 to $100,000 and then $100,000 to $1 million. I've done the math on this. I can't save and invest 50% of my income if 30% of my income is going to my mortgage payment every month. I can't save money to travel the world if I had to pay 40% of my income towards my mortgage. The housing market, this is a separate subject, but it has a lot to do with this. The housing market right now is too expensive, and I would rather wait until I am more financially ready before purchasing a home. I get it. This is an unpopular opinion, but I will stand firm that overpaying a home could destroy your wealth, not build it. And I've been following my FIRE checklist for almost 10 years now. It will be 10 years this year. And it's been working great because I live below my means. I've learned to sacrifice in the short term to get out of debt and focus on the long-term investment goal. You can either keep complaining about how a little man can't get ahead or make some changes now. It's up to you. And this has been another beast of a video, and I hope you got a lot out of it.